Uh-oh.
I just got back from tacos at Tracks. It's currently 10:52 p.m. I made the decision to get to participate in the tacos at Tracks at 10:15 p.m. There was a point in which I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that because I believe these are the beef tacos. At the topping bar, I got the standard lettuce and tomatoes. And as I said, cheddar on one, beef, one chicken, mozzarella on the other, and then one mozzarella, and then mozzarella on one chicken, one beef, and cheddar on the other, essentially. I got this chicken noodle soup from lunch. But decided to save it for later. As I have done in the past, I got a lunch that was too big. And around 6:30, I would say. As I was in the middle of studying for my Spanish exam, primarily by studying the vocab for lessons 15 and 16. On VHL Central, I couldn't find any vocab for lesson 17. So I didn't bother searching for it. Using the Everywhere at the End of Time album as a benchmark, I was able to relearn the lesson 16 vocab faster than the first time I initially learned it this week, I believe. I've also been doing a lot of Duolingo lessons lately, because I know that this exam is going to be mostly about general comprehension of the reading, writing, and listening aspects of the Spanish language. there's a bit of a cause of alarm because quite a bit of there's quite a bit of grades in Spanish that for my Spanish class that haven't been quite a few assignments that haven't been graded yet. So I don't know the whole story of the general grade. I believe I just recently encountered this sort of quest. It's generally not worth it though to go for excuse me, the daily exclusive, because it's not a building I don't already have at this point. I just tried the strategy for these episodic events with evolvable buildings. I just tried to complete the tasks as quickly as possible. I rearranged quite a few things around in order to make room for at Queen Fairy's retreat. The evolvable building initially has some goblin and orcs flair to it, but over time, and I didn't know you could do this sort of thing with, I just discovered through experimentation that you could do this sort of thing for an episodic event, but over time, the building gradually goes more and more into being fairy flair rather than goblin and orc flair. After all, it's supposed to be the Queen Fairy's retreat. Or wouldn't it be Fairy Queen's retreat? It's really starting to show. Spent all day working on upgrading this armory once again. Apparently now I'm going to have a dwarven armory. Although ideally at this point it would be best to have in a goblin and orc level armory and a fairy level armory, although I actually can't upgrade that armory to fairy level. Right now I'm upgrading it to max dwarven level because a fairy armory is actually, quite a bit. It's actually even longer than this dwarven armory, which means it'll technically require more than one city square in order to fit. I discovered this sort of information through some digging on the old Elvenar wiki. Although I got proof a while back that they do maintain it when I thought it had been updated for the new Team Spirit chapter. They stuffed quite a bit into these tacos. These are the $1 beef tacos and the $2 chicken dollars each. Although when I came to Trax and started waiting in line for the walk-up order, I'm pretty sure they didn't have it as an online option, since this was just a limited edition promotion. Apparently they weren't supposed to put mozzarella on the tacos, presumably because the mozzarella is more expensive than the cheddar, and the mozzarella is supposed to be an exclusive for the more permanent menu items. Such as the pizzas and fries sort of orders. I think I completely finished off this bag of trail mix Dad got me during the time between me working on, between me getting breakfast as usual around 7:30 in the morning, as that's the time Brockway opens, and during which, in the process of getting breakfast, I didn't see my contact for the Career Services Center at the second floor of Daly Hall. And me technically getting lunch. Technically, it was considered dinner at the time, according to Harrison, but this is my dinner. I actually think at this point that I got it earlier. Maybe at around 5 p.m. And then at around 7 or 8 p.m., I went on what was intended to be a 15-minute run, or sort of brisk jog, I would call that pace, that I did. It was a fast enough pace in which I went 1.25 miles, touching a door to the inside of the Hartwell building. And then most of the way back, by the time the 15 minutes were up. And by the end, I was sweating pretty good. I was hot. My legs and feet were a little sore. I felt some pain in my stomach. from the running. I sweated so much that sweat got into one of my eyes. And it fogged up my glasses so much that I could actually see better with them off. They gave me a lot of cultured sour cream, and I think the technical name for it is salsa of the sun. Picante sauce. Excuse me. And I decided to use all of the sour cream and salsa, so I figured that's what they intended. While I waited for the chicken to be ready, of which they, as it was near the end of tracks being open tonight, tonight was probably gonna be my last opportunity to get tacos at tracks. While I waited, and as I walked back to Eagle Hall and prepped the tacos, using this spoon to scoop on the sour cream, and then ripping open and then squeezing up the salsa packs, I started today's daily challenge for Bloons Tower Defense 6. Apparently there's a new The Magic Society 3. Apparently there's a new fellowship that was founded on May 1st. The thing is, it might take me a while to find that fellowship. Plus, there's no guarantee if they would be more active than my current fellowship. Or, actually not more active, have higher ranking players than my current fellowship. In the fellowship I'm currently in the number 1 spot. Me having nearly double the score of my runner-up. I have 40,184 points, while the runner-up has 27,790 points. Again, mine is 40,184. Just in case I accidentally said something else. Currently in the process of giving neighborly help to my fellow fellowship members. Today's national security class I spent quite a bit of the time between me eating breakfast and the start of today's national security class worrying about the future of my city in Elvenar, since I know I'm going to want to, as I go on and revive more guest races and encounter more guest races, I'm going to want to maintain at least a little bit of each guest race within my city, while still maintaining my goals of building every single ancient wonder into the city. As well as dealing with the new challenges that they introduce with each new chapter. Technically speaking, I've already unlocked the mercenary camp, but I don't have space for it at this point. And the only reason why I'm been upgrading this armory for so long is because I feel that the level in the next chapter they introduce the mechanic of producing orcs, which you'll need for all negotiations and for many future upgrades after a certain point. It's probably somewhere between level 20 and level 30. I've got about $82 and I think 69 cents in dining dollars after I picked up the tacos. I was just barely able to get into the nest, as me entering in would make the occupancy 4, including the cashier, because there were 2 other customers inside at the time, and the nest, a sort of mini convenience store within the Harrison building on the first floor. They have a maximum occupancy of 4. And if you're not wearing gloves, which obviously you're not going to do that anymore, with the kind of heat you've experienced now, and at least some days at this point, and increasingly as time goes on, you're supposed to sanitize your hands before coming into the store, which I always make sure to do. They have this little sort of mini table out for right before the entrance to the store, which I always leave whatever food I get at the Harrison building on. And that's how I ultimately got those 2 particular energy drinks. Ugh. They didn't have any popcorn today, and the posters they hung up on that sort of cooler area where everything is empty because I think it's getting to the end of the semester and they're getting less food supplies at this point. Ask about free Pepsi Cola ice pops made me think they had introduced that too. That combined with the congratulations grad order and the popcorn machine, it gave a sort of carnival vibe to the physical location of the nest. I don't currently have the space to complete the scrolls manufactory upgrade. And also, the dwarves didn't do anything to the scrolls manufactory. That was entirely elven. Excuse me. Oh, which is why I would very much like to complete the upgrade. I also discovered today that apparently there's a chance that the Goddess of Wishes building will actually give you gems. I most recently got 35 the last time I saw the dice roll on it. And also there's this writer I've been following for a long time because they make some quality Giantess Grove stories. Apparently they're now rewriting their first story, Exponential Log. And actually, they're now actually going to be updating it day by day in real time. So that's something very exciting. I may very well make a Giantess, I believe it's Giantess World account. In order to leave a review, since, yeah, I was right. I really like the good quality that this writer is pumping out these days. It's good quality. All right. The chicken tacos are pretty good. About as good as the beef tacos. If anything, the chicken tacos are only marginally better. I spent plenty of time thinking about my strategy for this post-mortem essay. At the end of class, I asked plenty of questions about my expectations for the paper. If I recall, I also spent some time working on the week 13 assignment. I think at this point I'm pretty much done with it. I mean, if I submitted this as is, it would probably be acceptable, but this is the very last weekly assignment for my African politics class, and I want to make sure that I do a good job on it. As for the post-mortem essay, I haven't even started it yet. The discussions I had with Dr. French has given me a battle plan, which is going to include a footnote system. That I think will work pretty well in the end. As I was walking to the Harrison building for those tacos, I happened to run into Wendy, the librarian, who is significant to my past because I believe when I was a sophomore and a junior, I would almost exclusively be in the library whenever I didn't have class or any Senate duties, or when I wasn't being active on campus for the various events. At some point, as I was doing my run, I heard singing. Someone inside Eagle Hall told me that it was apparently them doing some sort of event on the football field, but it was live, so no events, no upcoming events, no upcoming programs, no programs tonight.